Our academic theme is also changing this year. For the past several years, learning is the work. Something that's been taken from Michael Fullen's work has been our academic theme. And learning is the work will continue to be a focus for us. There's no question. Learning is the work for us as professionals. Learning is the work for our students. Learning is the work all around us. And that has to be a continual process for us. We are now going to focus on something new, engaging all students for success. And I want you to focus on 3 words here. The first word, engaging. That's one of the words that we've been using with our ICE, our engage, our inform, and our celebrate. Engagement has to do with everyone. Engagement has to do with making sure that our kids are engaged in their classroom studies, that they're engaged in the type of work that they do. They're going to learn better when they're engaged. But it's also about you, again, engaging yourself in your craft, making sure that you are learning at all times and that whatever you're doing is best for our kids. The second word is all. It has to be about every single student. It has to be about everyone that you work with. So engaging all, and it talks about students, but the biggie is for success. We want our students to be successful. We want to make sure they're engaged, they're ethical, they're entrepreneurial citizens. We want to make sure that as they move forward throughout their educational career and beyond, that they are successful in whatever they do, and they move from whatever level they are at to whatever level they can be their best at. As we move through this process and we engage all of our students, we engage all of them for success, we want to make sure we have a relentless consistency. And this is a concept we talked about last year. This is a call to action. It's about continuous improvement in our craft. It makes sure that all of us, whatever role we play, whether we're cleaning the school, whether we're working with a student on the side, or whether we're teaching them, whatever that we do, whatever role we play, that we do the best that we possibly can and that we're improving in what we do on a constant basis. And it means that we're doing the right things based on evidence for the right reasons. If that's not happening, you need to give your head a shake and you need to make sure that you're changing your practice in order to do it the right way. So we take our academic theme and we take our religious theme this year, of do justice, and we bring it together here, and it makes so much sense in all the things that we've been through and all the things that we do. And I don't think that there's anybody outside of Calgary Catholic that does this better. Do justice by your actions, another theme that we've talked about in the past. It's by your actions that we know things are actually happening. You can tell me, but what's the evidence that it's happening? And it's very interesting to look at our new faith theme and see that the first 2 parts of our faith theme have nothing to do with your relationship with God. They have to do with how we treat each other. So keep that in mind as we move forward. I want to talk a bit about our 3-year plan right now and our focus for our 3-year plan as we move forward. Our focus is obviously going to be our faith and our academic themes, which we've talked about here. And then on top of that, things that we've been doing in the past that we're going to continue to do and excel at. Literacy and numeracy are things that we've been working at, especially through AC. Now, you know that the AC funding has stopped. That's money that's not coming into the district any longer, but you need to know that the good work that's been done over the last few years is going to continue. We've built up a base. The kinds of things that have been happening have to keep going on. We have a great group of folks that have been working on this. We've learned lots, and that's got to continue. We're going to continue to build resilience in our students. We talked a bit about that earlier, and that has to be a focus of ours. If our kids are resilient, they're going to learn better. That's common sense. And they're going to be better people as they move out of our schools as well, because they'll be able to handle things a whole lot better. And we're going to challenge that resilience this year with some of the kids that have been through this process of the floods, as well as our staff. And we're going to continue to focus on technology integration into our work. One of the places that we really want to make sure that we're working on is our EPD site. If you haven't been to our EPD site, you need to get to be part of that. You need to look at that anytime, anywhere learning for you as a professional as well. We need to continue also to build capacity in all of us and our staffs. If you are a principal or a leader in our district, your focus has to be making sure that we build capacity in everyone in your school or everyone in your department and central office or anywhere that you work out in the district. It has to be something that works on a constant basis. Our instructional services team, you need to know that they're here to provide a service to you to promote the high standards of excellence and success that we have in Calgary Catholic. Again, that has to do with building capacity in your staff. If you have issues or challenges or just want to continue to improve, make sure you're contacting the folks that you have in instructional services. They're here to serve. They're fantastic at what they do, and they really do provide great work for all of our folks. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that, and don't take it for granted. Not every district has the kind of support that we have here. Now, this is all under the umbrella right now, too, of inspiring education, and I want to speak about that a little bit right now. We've talked about it before, but there is a renewed emphasis from the government on this. It kind of was put to the side for a little while, but this minister has brought it back hard and strong. Our current minister, Johnson, was one of the co-authors of the process here of inspiring education, and he did great work with it, and he learned an awful lot going through the process. It was a great public participation process, something that we do very well at Calgary Catholic, but they kind of did it on steroids with Alberta Education as they went through this process. Inspiring education is all about engaged thinkers, that they learn and they adapt. It's about ethical citizens, that they're the leaders of tomorrow. And it's about the entrepreneurial spirit. And that's about hard work and innovation. You're now looking at the circle diagram of inspiring education. You can see student at the middle, and you can see literacy and numeracy, a huge focus for us, that are right around the center here. And on the outside, surrounding everything that goes on, our subject discipline areas, all the kinds of things that go on. Again, we have that engaged thinker who's an ethical citizen with that entrepreneurial spirit. Those are words you're going to hear a lot of. You have a diagram or a picture in front of you right now of our Minister of Education. I wanted you to see their faces, so when you see them on the news, you know who they are, and that's the Honourable Jeff Johnson, who's our Minister of Education. And we have a brand new Deputy Minister of Education, who is Greg Bass, who was the former Chief Superintendent of the Rocky School District. We have a great relationship with Greg and worked with him very closely on a lot of projects with Rocky, so we're really excited to see him in the position. He's a very strong educator, and we're excited about the things that he's going to bring to the department. So I want to talk a little bit about what's coming in the coming school year. Some of the things that you're going to be hearing about, some of the things that are going to affect you directly. One of the things is the new teacher professional growth support and assessment documents. Now I'm going to put new in quotations because this is something we introduced last year, but we had so many things going on last year, we asked our principals to pull back a little bit on that and to make it an optional process. So some teachers have been through this process. It's a very good process. We've actually streamlined it somewhat in order to make it even easier at this point, but all teachers now will be going through this process as opposed to the former process that we used to use. So keep your heads and eyes open for that. Your principals will be talking to you about it. Something you'll also be hearing about is the teacher workload study. You may be hearing the name C2, and C2 is just where it fell in the process in the document, the 5-year agreement that we have with the ATA. So as we go forward, we are putting together groups of teachers and administrators, and we are going to be looking at what is the workload of a teacher and how can we make things better. Are there things that we can take off our plate? Are there things that we can, again, streamline in order to make it a better process so that your focus can continue to be on students? Alberta Education is doing the same things. They are trying to make things change so that they are not doing so many top-down things that end up on a teacher's plate here right now. You may have heard last year that we had some new schools. We're very excited that Auburn Bay is going to be getting a new K-9 school, as well as the community of Evanston. That's huge for Calgary Catholic because we're in the midst of some gigantic growth challenges. Calgary Catholic is probably going to grow by about 2,000 students a year for the next 5 years. We just passed our 50,000th student on August 21st, just a couple of days ago. That's very exciting for us. We've never passed that milestone before. But in 5 years, we could be at 60,000 students. And that's a huge challenge for us because we're sitting almost at 85% capacity in our schools right now. That's a term that we use with Alberta infrastructure, but at 85% capacity, that means we're full. We know we have schools at over 100% capacity right now, meaning that they're utilizing spaces like science labs and art rooms for regular classrooms. That's a real challenge for schools. We want to have those areas that can be specific for specific courses, but we have so many students in the deep south and the far northwest and in different areas of the city that we just are overflowing with kids right now. It's a good challenge to have, but it certainly is a challenge right now. You need to know that your trustees are working diligently in order to try to access more schools for our kids, and they're finding some success right now. There are going to be more announcements made by the government, and we're very hopeful that Calgary Catholic will at least be getting at least one or more schools in the next little while being announced, and that certainly projects in order to modernize some of our schools will be happening as well. Another thing you're going to be hearing about is the regulatory review. You should be aware that we have a new Education Act that came into effect last year, but the Education Act doesn't really change until the regulations are created for it. There are 35 committees that have been created by the government right now that are going to be creating those regulations that will work. That's the regulatory review. There are online surveys right now that your principal will let you know how to get to. One of the focuses you may be interested in as teachers or as school personnel have to do with transportation, fees, and anti-bullying. Those are things that you may want to get online and give your opinion on because the government's looking for your opinion. The other thing that is very big right now that has to do with inspiring education is curriculum redesign. The focus is going to be competency-based and learner-focused. So make sure that you're keeping your eyes open for what's going there, and if there's chances for input as teachers, make sure that you take advantage of that. Other things that are coming right now, student learning assessment. You'll be hearing about the SLAs. You heard last year that the government is looking at eliminating the provincial achievement tests right now. Diploma exams are staying as they are for now. They're still reviewing those, but they are looking at a new strategy right now. And Calgary Catholic's response to this is that we're going to move into it as quickly as possible. We believe it's a good direction to eliminate the provincial achievement tests. They did give us good information, but they are high-stake testings on a one-day exam, and that's a bit challenging for our kids, to say the least, and challenging for our staff to get them ready for them. So they are moving to these SLAs. They're going to happen in the fall, and we are going to start with the grade 3s this fall. We're going to be utilizing strategies we already utilize, like Fontes and Pinnell, when we look at the language arts grade 3 testing coming up this year. Our instructional services team is working on a math assessment, so you'll be hearing more about that in the next few weeks, and they're going to get something out to you so that we can assess our students at the beginning of the year, have our teachers have a good understanding where our kids are and move them forward and eliminate those end-of-year high-stakes testing. Another thing you may have heard of in the past is our dual credits. This is for our high school students, and it's a very exciting initiative that the government's put forward, but Calgary Catholic has been on the leading edge. We actually have started in the past few years offering dual credits to our high school students, having them take university or college level courses at the same time as their high school courses, and getting credits for their high school at the same time as receiving diplomas for their work in the college. For example, at SAIT right now, we have a pharmacy assistance program where we have students taking the program at SAIT one day a week. They go in for the afternoon, at the same time taking their regular high school courses. They can get over 20 high school credits at the same time receiving their diploma for pharmacy assistance over 2 years. So at the end of grade 12, the students, those grade 11 and 12 students taking these courses, will walk 2 stages. One will be their high school diploma, the other will be a college walking the college stage at SAIT to get their pharmacy assistance diploma. That way they can move directly into the workforce, or they can continue on in their studies to become a pharmacist or go into the medical field. It's an absolutely wonderful opportunity for our kids, and it gets them out to the workforce that much quicker, or get them into something that is more engaging and something they really want to try prior to hitting the workforce. We're also moving forward with high school redesign. That's the new name for the Flex project that's come out. Bishop McNally, the staff has been working very hard over the past few years looking at how to create a different way of teaching senior high and getting out of that block of 25 hours for a credit. Father Lacombe and St. Anne's are going to be joining Bishop McNally in this project this year, and we're very excited about where it's taking high school at this time. The last slide you're about to see right now, or you're seeing right now, has to do with our ICE, or our IEC, our Inform, our Engage, and Celebrate. This is going to continue. These are the types of words that we want to focus on because they mean so many different things. You can take the word inform and you can talk about informing your students. You can talk about informing your staff, informing yourself, informing your parents, making sure that people have the right information. We really took inform seriously during the flood issue when we communicated the way we communicated and as often as we did, and we hope that you were kept informed throughout that process. We also look at the word engage. We've talked a lot about that in the last few minutes as we've gone through this video, and engage couldn't be more powerful a word. You need to be engaged in your craft. You need to be engaged in the work that you do. You need to have your students be engaged at all times. They learn better, you learn better, and we're happier when we're engaged. And then celebrate. We have so much to celebrate in Calgary Catholic. We had a great opportunity just recently to be out at Speargrass out in Carsland and had a wonderful golf tournament with almost a full field. We had 133 people out. It was a celebration of the summer. It was a celebration of the support. It was a celebration of each other, and it was a great opportunity for us to get together. We'll be celebrating our opening mass together. We'll be celebrating our opening barbecue for our administrators and our leadership teams. We'll be celebrating all kinds of things this year. It's what we do well, and it's what we should do more often. The things that we do at Calgary Catholic are absolutely outstanding. We need to celebrate what we do, why we do it, and make sure people know what's going on. I just want to leave you with a really quick message to enjoy your work. Please take care of each other, especially with what we've gone through recently. Take care of our kids. Have a wonderful year professionally and personally, and I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. Have a terrific year.